Hello everyone, welcome back to the Good Enough Counsellors and Therapists live at 5 on Tuesdays. So today what I am going to be talking about is different ways that you can use Facebook to get more clients. So I'm quickly going to outline the advantages of using social media for your marketing. I'm going to look at what some of the disadvantages are. There's not always an upside, and then we're going to look at different ways that you can use Facebook to try and increase the number of clients coming through your door. So to begin with, let's just start with why would I use Facebook to try and get more clients? And the reason is that you're able to produce a lot more information for your clients if you use social media marketing. If you think about the types of client that you really like to work with and you start using Facebook to try and reach them, you begin to really reach the people who you can help. And because you know the types of things that they need to hear, the types of problems that they might have, you're able to speak to them in a very specific way. And rather than it being very general, so if people say land on your directory entry, you might say things like, I deal with anxiety, I deal with depression, I deal with bereavement. Say you decide that you're going to really work on a niche such as bereavement in Facebook. You can do things like look out for the particular groups where bereavement is discussed. You can put things about bereavement on your Facebook page. You're able to target your marketing and you're able to produce quite a lot of information so that when people come across you, they know that that's something that you specialize in. And that really helps them to trust you more, because one of the things that Facebook can do is it can really help you to build a relationship with people before they've even walked through your therapy door. And the advantage of that is they'll know, like and trust you, and that means that they're probably more likely to pick up the phone and contact you than if they were just seeing you through a directory entry. Because after all, if you're on a directory and somebody comes looking for a counsellor, they have to sift through lots of people before they find you, and it makes it very difficult for people to find counsellors. Whereas if they're thinking about looking for help and your name happens to pop up on Facebook, or they know a friend who needs help and they've seen your Facebook page or they've seen some of your Facebook posts and they know you're a counsellor, they might be likely to refer that friend on to you. So those are some of the advantages of using Facebook to help you do your marketing. So what are the disadvantages? Let me know what you think in the chat box. Have you had any clients through Facebook yet? How are you finding using Facebook to get your clients? Pop it in the chat box and let me know how you're getting on. So what are the disadvantages? Some people say that it takes time and it takes effort to actually run something like a Facebook page. And I'm not going to lie, it does take time, and you do need to sit down and work out what you want to do, how you want to use your Facebook page. You need to think about the sorts of posts that you're going to do, and you have to try and create engagement on your page. So that's all part of the skill of learning how to market yourself. And like anything, it's just a skill that you can actually learn. So although it takes time and effort, I think it's worth saying that the can be paid back in terms of the investment that you get back in terms of clients. The other thing, and I'm going to talk more about this next week, is actually about self-disclosure, because it really helps for people to connect with another person. And that means that sometimes we might talk about things in our marketing that perhaps we wouldn't bring up in a therapy session. So we might have self-disclosure that we wouldn't necessarily do if we were just seeing somebody in a therapy room and they had come maybe through our website or through the recommendation of somebody and they know nothing about us. So sometimes the clients will know you a little better. I'm going to talk more about this next week in my Live at 5, which is all about self-disclosure and the limits and what you can do about it to help yourself when you're marketing through Facebook. But it's certainly something that we need to give consideration to as to the effect it's going to have on our clients and on our relationships with our clients. Right, I'm moving on quickly here so it's not too long for you to watch. So what are the ways that you can actually use Facebook to attract clients? So one of the simplest things to do, and you don't need a Facebook page for this, because I know some of you, the idea of setting up a Facebook page at the moment feels a bit difficult. The simplest approach is actually just to get out there, to put yourself out there on Facebook and to be helpful to people. And Facebook at the moment is really promoting its groups, and there are thousands, well, millions of special interest Facebook groups. So if you know that you deal with a particular type of issue that clients might have, you can look for Facebook groups where people are seeking support from each other around that sort of issue. It may be that you actually have that particular issue in your own life and you're already a member of Facebook groups, but you'd need to have a think there about would you be happy to be marketing your services in that particular group. But look at Facebook groups in your areas where you like to work. So for example, with me, one of the things that I do is when I'm working with clients is, I deal with infertility and I deal with the loss of a baby. So I'm in some parenting groups, for example. I'm in some really big parenting groups. But if I wanted to market myself with regard to, say, the loss of a baby, I'd look out for posts where people are sharing about that sort of stuff. And I'd come in, I'd be empathetic and talk to people and support them and help make comments that are supportive. And also I'd be interacting with people in that group so they would know that I was actually a counsellor. And then it may be that I might be able to pick up clients that way, and it might not even be the person to whom I've actually answered the post. It might be someone else who's just watching, because quite often people, they're not necessarily posting, but they are reading the content. And what you might find is you get a personal message from someone saying, I've been looking for someone to help me and it sounds like you might be someone who could help me. So just being in Facebook groups, interacting with people and being helpful, building relationships with people, because marketing is about building relationships. There's no point just going into groups and spamming them with your Facebook page content. That's very impersonal and nobody really responds to that. It's about being of service to people, just getting out there and being of service and helping people, showing them. It's sort of like, we show, not tell. So we could put our Facebook posts into a group, but that's sort of telling people. Whereas what we do when we're being empathic is we're actually showing them that we're a counsellor. So there's a subtle difference there, and people believe what they can see. So if you're in there being helpful, people will see that. Hi Woo, thank you for being here. So that's one approach you can have. Another approach you could have, and a lot of people do actually find this successful, is to go into your local buy and sell groups. So these are the little groups that are local to you where people are selling various items, and you can go in there and you can tell people about your service. Sometimes what I've read through the forums is that it's in those groups that people get challenged on their prices. So have an answer ready, such as if you see me as a private counsellor, it means that you don't have to wait, and some people like to pay so that they don't have to join the NHS waiting list. It also means that you can have the sessions tailored to you. You don't have a limit on the number of sessions that you can have. So talk about the advantages of working with a private counsellor. You don't need to engage with the negativity, just talk about what the advantages of paying someone actually are. Another thing you can do, and this is something that I do locally, is I belong to a group called Winning Women, the Essex Winning Women Business Group. And so this was an offline thing, but they've also got a Facebook group. So it's a network of local women who are all in business. And just by being there, by being friendly, you know, having a moment to tell people what I do, coming in, doing posts, doing lives in the group if I need to, I've been able to get referrals from other women who are in that group to people who they know who need a counsellor. So being in a networking group like that can be really helpful as well. I'll come back to that question, Sarah. It's a really good question. No, I shall answer Sarah's question now. So Sarah says, is there a danger of actually doing yourself out of clients because you solve their problems in the group? No, I honestly don't think so, Sarah, because I don't think, I mean, you might answer something helpfully, but it's only going to be a few comments, isn't it? That isn't going to really meet people's deeper needs. It's just demonstrating to them who you are and how helpful you can be, and letting them know that you're around and you're a helpful person. It's sort of just, it's a sort of subtle form of advertising and promotion without actually being pushy. It's a much kinder way to advertise ourselves in a sense, because what we're doing is we're serving people, we're helping them, and that helps them, but also it shows what we're like. And if people know that we're a counsellor, and I'll explain how you can help them to know that in a minute, then that might produce clients for us. So I'm going to move on to think a little bit about Facebook business pages. There's always a lot of confusion about how you set up a Facebook business page. The best way to do it is you have your personal profile. So my personal profile is Josephine Hughes. And Josephine Hughes has set up a Facebook page, a business page called Good Enough Counsellors and Therapists. And I'll explain in a minute why I'm going to change the name. But that is my business page, and everybody who sees me on my business page can see everything I post on my business page, but they can't see what I post on my personal page. The reason I have a business page is so I can do things like Facebook advertising. I can also see how many people are interacting with my posts, because sometimes what people are tempted to do is set up a personal page, and their personal profile is actually their business counselling page. But if you do that, you can't see the effectiveness of what you're doing as you can do with a business page. So it's a really good idea to set up a business page. Now, if you're in a group as your personal self, as your personal page, how do people know that you're a counsellor unless you tell them? What you do is you connect. In your personal page, you can connect your business page to your personal page. Don't worry, that doesn't mean that people will see what you're putting on your personal page. It just means that if you're in a group, as say I'm in a parenting group commenting as Josephine Hughes, but if people hover over my name, they will see it'll say coach. I think it says founder and owner of Good Enough Mums, and also coach at Good Enough Counsellors and Therapists. So you can actually see when you hover over my name what my role is. So if you have your business page in your personal page, in terms of it's in your introduction, it's in your sort of about section of your personal page, people will be able to see what you do. And so you don't actually even need to tell them. People are interested. They'll think, oh, that person, they're always coming on and being really helpful. I wish I knew more about them. And then when they hover over your name, they can then see that you're a counsellor. Hi, Pauline. Not quite sure when you say counselling Leon C. Well, you're commenting as your page there, I think, Sarah. But even if you commented as Sarah, which I'll try and see if you come up. I can't. Yeah, Sarah Ward. Yeah, you need to connect your business page to your personal profile, because at the moment, if I hover over Sarah Ward, it says what school you went to and where you live. Whereas what you can do is set it up so that you've got, it'll say Sarah Ward, Counselling Leon C. So what Sarah's done is she's been chatting to me, and she's commented as herself, and she's also commented as her business page. But what I'm saying is you can comment as yourself, but there's a link to your business page so that people can click through to you and click through to your business page. And that's another way of sort of getting clients. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention was about Facebook advertising, because if you have a business page, you can actually use Facebook to advertise. And the real beauty of Facebook business advertising is the targeting that you can do, because Facebook knows so much about you. I'm really sorry about that. It does know quite a lot about you. It sort of knows how old you are. It knows what children you've got. You know, it knows where you work. It knows the sorts of things you're interested in. It knows what adverts you like clicking on. I won't tell you exactly what adverts I've had coming up recently because it's too embarrassing. But you know, if you're sort of interested in something, you've been Google searching, quite often you're going to Facebook, and the same things will come up. Um, and if anybody wants to know, you'll have to ask me offline, or off the business page anyway. So Facebook knows what your interests are. So I've sort of had success where I've been targeting with my Good Enough Mums counselling. You know, I've had a really sort of successful blog, so I've chosen to boost that blog. And because I was working face to face, I just chose this really specific geographic area. I was really clear about the types of people that I wanted to target. You know, I was clear about their age group. I was clear that they needed to have children. I was clear about the fact that they needed to be interested in parenting, all those sorts of things. And it did actually produce in someone phoning me up. And that cost not very much money at all. And I've had that client for like 20 sessions. And I think that particular advert would have cost me in the region of about £10 or £11. So you can use Facebook advertising quite successfully. And that was just a boost. But you can also do like your own advert for Facebook. The most important thing is to really know who you're trying to reach, and then you can set that in your targeting. And so you can spend not very much money to really reach the people that you need. It's not for the faint-hearted, and I would advise, you know, you can set a limit on how much you can spend. You can have a little bit of a play with it if you've got a bit of money that you're prepared to invest. Or you could go away and you could watch some training around Facebook advertising. There's sort of Facebook advertising specialists who quite often do something like a free challenge to try and get your business. And you could do something for free to find out exactly how to do it. So, Sarah's asked, how do I find out how to connect them? I can see this is going to have to be another little bit of an explanation. So what I will do is I will put something together for you so that you can find out how to connect the two. I think I'll probably do a little video for you so that you can see how to connect them. And I'll put that out for you. So that's the live feed for tonight. I'll put some information out on how you can connect your personal and your business profile. So that's that. And the other thing I was going to say is I am doing some Facebook, boosting your Facebook presence type classes. So use Facebook to get more clients. I'm going to be doing some webinars on that, some low cost, hour and a half webinars on how to increase engagement on your Facebook page, because what you want is you want your Facebook page and your posts to reach as many people as possible. And there's particular techniques you can do to actually boost the reach of your posts. And so I'm going to help you know how to do that. So if that's something you're interested in, if you want to add your name to the bottom of the live feed, and I'll get in touch when those are all organised. They'll be coming out in the next few weeks' time. So I'm doing a sort of Facebook visibility type of project at the moment. So if you're interested in that, do let me know. And in the meantime, I will put up a little video on how to connect your Facebook personal page to your Facebook business page so that people can find out what you do more easily, because it's all about serving people, and when they can see what you do, they can click through to your business page and get in touch with you. Okay, thanks so much for joining me, everyone. It's really lovely to see so many of you here on the feed. It's obviously something you all really want to know about. So, you know, I will be producing more content. I've got a little blog coming out as well, you know, so that you can read more about it too. Okay, bye for now, everyone. Thanks for joining me.